Hey, I'm Molly Sims.
And I'm Emese Gormley. We're two girls obsessed with one thing, beauty.
And by that, we mean everything that makes you look
And feel
beautiful.
We're calling on our favorite health experts, industry insiders, and friends to answer all your beauty questions.
With a drink in hand.
Definitely with a drink in hand.
You're listening to Lipstick on the Rim with Molly Sims.
Well, you know, this last year, I mean, it's been a tough one. Went through a lot, emotionally, physically, professionally. Whew.
I mean, honestly, you really, really did. And I'm so proud of you because I feel like you have the strength and ability to always come out on top. You tap into your strengths that you didn't even know you had.
I tap into you. I call you 7 times a day. Honestly, it's been really hard. You have helped me feel sane, empowered.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one pivotal thing that has made a huge difference in my life this past year, I started working with Sarah Wragge. She's helped me stick with my nutrition, my health, my fitness goals, and really kind of turning everything, upside down on its head. Sarah Wragge is back with us today because I brought her back to La La Land to do a 6-month check-in, and you guys can kind of revisit what we've been doing for the past 6 months. But if you don't know Sarah, she's an incredible founder and chief nutritionist of Sarah Wragge Wellness. She's also my personal nutritionist. She's all about burning fat, conquering cravings, and eating for endless energy. Since we're officially in the new year and everyone is focusing on health and wellness, I thought for today's episode, we'd follow it up, last week with Vicky talking about the power of mental health, talking about the power of, getting into your body. But I really wanted to focus this episode and highlight how to take health and nutrition into your own hands, which is exactly what I did last year with Sarah. Sarah,
hello.
We're so
Welcome
happy.
back.
Thank you. We drug her back. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend you going back to our first episode with Sarah, where we explore her background and we do a little bit of a deep dive into the 10 steps of the SWW method. Before I get to me and what I've accomplished, I'm very proud of myself. Let's talk about nutrition. We're at the beginning of the year. Can you give us your Spark Notes style guide on what women should prioritize in their diet? And I have to tell you, sitting next to me, I brought my producer.
You brought your plan?
My producer was like, "Oh, I already brought your plan." I'm like, "No, I brought my Christmas plan. Your SWW 2024
Oh yeah, your holiday guide.
Holiday
It's a good
guide,
one.
people.
Mm-hmm. How to get through it.
How to get through it." And so these are plans that work. They're digestible, and if you are consistent, magic will happen.
I mean, your client is my friend Brian.
Oh, can I just tell you?
He looks amazing.
He's down 23 pounds in 10 weeks.
I
He
know.
looks
We were talking to
incredible.
his wife.
I love it. We've totally restructured how he thinks about food because he's an athlete.
Yeah.
So he comes from like big football plates of dinosaur drumsticks.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's really fun.
I had to give
Okay.
him a shout out.
Yeah.
First things
shout
first,
out to him. Yeah.
let's talk about nutrition. Give us
Yeah.
a little bit of a Spark Note style guide on
Okay.
what women should prioritize in their diet.
Okay. So I think first and foremost, it does not have to be a heavy lift. I think everyone waits till January. They're like, okay, it's a new year, all this pressure. I'm going to do the workouts. This is going to be my best year yet. Just start off plain and simply with water. So that's my first tip is hydration. We are 60% water. We become dehydrated over the course of the evening. And when you wake up, I always say, before your feet hit the floor, drink a liter or something close to it. Even 8 ounces, 16 ounces, because we all know in this room, as soon as your feet hit the floor, when are you drinking water?
I know.
You just forget, and even like me here, I'm at a hotel, I've got my, my water bottle. And if I don't finish it, then I'm on email. I've got to get back because, East Coast. So water, plain and simply water. And then utilize moments throughout the day when you're getting hungry to drink more water. And that water almost acts as a gauge for how hungry are you really. Because oftentimes at 4 p.m., I'm starving and then I have water and I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm actually good because dehydration masks as hunger.
I didn't know that.
So yeah. So when you feel hungry all the time, be like, when was the last time that I had some water? And that's the first tip is plain and simply to hydrate.
I hydrate. I'm a better hydrator because of you.
Yeah.
I'm constantly drinking. Where's
Yeah.
Sophie? I'm drinking something at all times. I'm drinking bone broth. I'm drinking your alkalize.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a smoothie. I'm drinking green juice.
Yep. You're drinking a lot of alkalizing in the
I am
store.
drinking.
Yes. Yeah. So the second is protein. I know everyone's talking about protein right now, but it is so important because I like to say protein will never get you in trouble. Your blood sugar won't spike from protein. It keeps you fuller longer. It's slower to digest in your system. So you're really safe with a chicken breast, with a couple pieces of steak, with a piece of fish. The carb craving that comes usually is an indication that you haven't eaten enough protein. So if you're hungry after dinner and you're thinking, okay, I had a 4-ounce piece of salmon, some vegetables, and a little pile of rice, maybe go back and have another piece of salmon rather than the dark chocolate square to try to put that hunger away. Honor the hunger and go back for another piece of protein.
We were doing a little bit of social together last month, and we were talking about the amount of protein that she makes me drink during or after a workout. And if crazy, you've done a crazy workout, you can use 45 grams.
Yes.
She did 2 different types of protein, plant-based.
Yes.
And
animal, like grass-fed protein.
Grass-fed protein, 45 grams.
45 grams. So that's
Spinach.
what's happening right after your workout. Again, I like to think of our kind of customer base as the 3 of us. On the go, not a lot of time. How are you going to get it in? How are you going to feel good about it? And so we're actually coming out with our own protein powder in the spring that will be 45 grams of protein, 250 calories. I know you get scared of the calories word, but think about that as truly your meal. So you use this, you just add water, and then if you did a run, you could add a banana. If you just did Pilates and you don't need a little extra something, maybe you add in some healthy fat like almond butter, but no fruit to spike blood sugar. So yes, 45 grams following your workout has been your routine.
Okay, take us through each meal and break down what you'd like to see on everyone's plate. Let's start with breakfast.
Okay.
Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and our little mini snacks.
Okay. Molly loves her mini snacks. I do. Okay, so breakfast, I think it's important to note that breakfast isn't necessarily the most important meal of the day. It's just your first meal that you eat, whether it's 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12, is important that it's a blood sugar stabilizing meal and that it's protein forward. So on that plate, I'd like to see, if it's breakfast, I'd love to see a bunch of veggies or a salad, a quarter of an avocado, and a 3-egg omelet. For men,
and she loves whole eggs, poached eggs.
Whole eggs, yeah.
I do egg whites or
like
poached eggs. I know it sounds weird, but she's talking full fat eggs.
Yeah, full fat eggs to help keep you satisfied and full. And also if you love the egg whites, then we're adding like a pecorino cheese or some other fat to it because the white of the egg is just the protein. The yellow, the yolk is where all the good stuff is. So that's like a great breakfast option. You could do a protein smoothie. And then if it's lunch, a big salad. I'm kind of known for these epic salads that I make. They're massive with a lot of protein. If I'm going to Sweet Green, I'm double chicken or double fish, whatever I'm doing. Some veggies and some healthy fats. I like to, again, depending on what your gender is, your goals, your activity level, I like to save your carbohydrates for the end of the day.
I almost died of happiness when
it's
I met
contrary to
her the
what
first time.
anybody
When she was onboarding me, I'm like,
what? Fries for dinner.
Can you explain that again to me?
Yeah. So the goal of that idea is really to help stabilize your blood sugar throughout the day so you aren't constantly releasing insulin, which is a hormone that is secreted that helps your body get glucose out of the system. Okay. And so when you don't have large spikes of glucose and therefore insulin, your body burns fat all day. And especially back to busy on the go, you don't have time to be tired. Yeah. And so if you have a big sandwich or even a big, veggie bowl with sweet potatoes and rice for lunch, you will feel tired afterwards. And when I want to feel tired is at night. I want to get myself really set up for a deep, restful sleep. And that's when I want you to have carbs. So they will spike your blood sugar somewhat, which also helps you stay asleep. When you have, if you have steak and asparagus for dinner, you probably will dip low, which creates and triggers a cortisol response. And you're probably going to wake up in the middle of the night. And so especially for those menopausal women that are having a really hard time sleeping.
We don't know any of those.
We don't
Yeah,
know
no,
any
I know.
of those.
I know you
women.
guys
We're
don't.
not familiar with
No,
them.
we're not familiar with that.
No, you don't. So it's like, you know, that also forget all the science. Behaviorally, I don't want someone to say, oh, you can't have the pasta, you're on a diet. Or you can't have a glass of wine on date night, or you can't have the sweet potato fries. Or like, that's not fun. Thinking to yourself, oh, I'm dressed up, I feel great, I'm gonna go out and I can't really eat tonight.
Well, I think also, I mean, I've always been restrictive because I felt like I've had to be because, you know, of my
Like
job and my
monoculture.
work and the whole culture of everything. But I have to say, the moment I restrict myself, I want it more.
Yeah.
I think
Totally.
that's human nature, I feel
Like,
like. But yeah,
I think
feel
it's
the same
human
way.
nature.
Yeah. And when we met, you know, I remember our kickoff call, you were in a hotel, I think you were in New York, and you had ordered eggs and there was toast and some bacon or avocado or something.
I was like, I'm doing so well. I got turkey bacon, I've
Yeah.
got avocado,
Yeah.
I've got
Toast.
eggs, I've got toast. And she's like, no.
I'm like, we got it all wrong. We got a little too much fat. So let's just push that to later. So now I think you feel freedom in the fact that you can go out, have some drinks, have some of the bread or the pasta or the French fries, and then the order in which you eat your food matters. So you apply that little plate that I've given you, which is your veggies, then your protein, and then your carbs last.
So eat in that order always.
Eat in that order because it basically acts as a blood sugar blanket and you won't spike and you won't get that feeling. Why are spikes so bad? Because what goes up must come down. You're hungrier or you're hangrier, right? And you're craving a carb. It sends you into this out of control feeling that I think we as women, when you're always thinking about food, God, how frustrating is that?
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst.
What are your thoughts on sort of fad, trendy diets? Gluten-free, paleo,
Yeah.
you know,
Plant-based.
no dairy,
Yeah. No dairy.
plant-based.
Cut
Like, what do you
everything
think
out.
about that?
So I don't love it because I think it's just this one size fits all approach and it's restrictive and at some point it's going to end. Because if you're on a keto diet, at some point you will eat an apple, which is a carb.
Yeah.
Like probably a glass of wine, right?
Yeah.
And then everything backfires. And a lot of times we get people who've gained a significant amount of weight after being on a keto diet or a diet because it will rear its ugly head.
Right.
So I really, truly try to set you up with a program and a lifestyle that you do anywhere. Monday, Saturday, vacation, without the restrictions.
And that is basically eating to promote fat burning.
Yeah. If you don't, everything that you want is on the other side of figuring out how to balance your blood sugar. And then what I also love to say is, if it's bagel morning with the kids or waffles, or it was, you know, your husband's birthday and there was donut, like make that choice.
Right.
But know what you're doing. And then maybe you like throw in a little alkalized packet before. And maybe you don't have carbs for lunch and dinner following that. But at least know going in, like it didn't happen to you. You know, I'm like, okay, we're going to go to Christian's football practice and we're going to be in the car all day and we're going to get bagels and I'm going to have a bagel today. I know how to do that. I might have a hard-boiled egg before, but I'm not going to feel bad about that because the choice, I know going in what's happening. So I think it gives you power.
What are your thoughts on the GLP-1s and how to incorporate?
Because a lot of people are doing a little
yeah.
peptide. They're doing, whether it be off-label, on-label.
Can you incorporate your lifestyle
Yeah.
plan into that? Or is
Because
it?
some people have taken it way too far. I mean,
I
it's,
agree.
Yeah.
It's
I think
crazy.
I think it comes with a responsibility, and I think it comes with understanding what these medications do. And they're a glucose transport medication, so they're trying to basically lower your blood sugar, which is essentially what I'm trying to do with you behaviorally. And so you can't go on a GLP-1 and then eat like a quarter of the Chick-fil-A sandwich because your gastric emptying process is slower.
Yeah.
And that's what the medication does, right? You're fuller for longer. And so I think if you are somebody and your doctor has recommended, and I highly recommend that you do a body composition scan before you start one. So you can look at, are you going into muscle wasting, bone density issues? If you are deciding to go on a GLP, it comes with the homework of you better lift weights, you better eat protein, you better be like, you know, choking down a hard-boiled egg when really you want a bagel because the bagel is really going to make you feel terrible. Because of the medication.
Yeah.
So I think that now, even in the last year, I work with so many doctors now that are putting my clients on the medications for reasons other than weight loss.
Right.
And this is a huge difference from a year ago that I'm seeing. Fertility issues, eating disorder issues, binge eating issues is a big one I've seen lately. People that drink too much because it helps control your drinking a little bit. People that have cardiovascular disease. It's kind of becoming this wonder drug for all things. And I'm really interested to see in 2 years if it's been being taken like Advil. Like I have a lot of doctors predicting that in the next couple of years, everyone will be on it, even if it's a small little microdose.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the lifestyle plans. Beyond the nutrition piece, when it comes to movement, what should we be doing?
Okay, so that's a good one. And that's a big thing that we targeted with you, Molly, was an A-B workout strategy. And so, you know, coming from an over-exerciser world that I lived in for many, 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 many years, I always pushed harder thinking I was going to get better results. And in fact, it's quite the opposite. And so what I like to implement and what we've done with you is an A-B workout strategy. So your A workouts, think about those as your hard workouts. I want you to do less of those workouts. Those hard workouts use fast twitch muscle fibers and they recruit primarily glucose. So you're burning through sugar. So think about sprints, burpees, high intensity interval training, which is something that you were doing a lot of. And we swapped that for down and dirty strength training. And so what strength training does is that's your B workout. It's a workout where you're not allowing your heart rate to go above 140 beats per minute. And in doing that, you use slow twitch muscle fiber, which guess what that uses? Fat. Yes, it always uses a little bit of glucose, but primarily fat. So I kind of did an experiment on myself inadvertently to figure this out, and then really delved into, okay, why am I leaning out? I'm not as hungry. My body's completely transformed and changed over the course of a year after a knee injury. I had meniscus surgery, started doing Pilates, physical therapy, and strength training because I really couldn't do cardio, which was my jam. Cardio was my thing.
That used to be my
drug
jam.
of choice, you know? And I started losing weight. And I started seeing abs, and I started seeing muscles I've never seen.
And that was pretty much on accident.
Totally on accident.
It's amazing.
And then I went, wait a minute. I'm not as hungry. I'm sleeping better. I'm leaning out. My jeans are bigger. And by the way, I hate Pilates because this is boring to me. I had to change my relationship with what feeling good felt like. Do you know what I mean? I still love a good run, but I really love a good lift also.
It ignites energy.
And you burn all day long.
You don't need to work out for an hour.
So how long?
You literally
Correct.
can't. I mean,
45 minutes?
45 minutes, 30 minutes.
40 minutes, yeah.
You're on, you take your break, you're back on again, you take your break. I mean,
but bottom line is after those workouts, I'm almost like, I want to do more. I want to do more. I'm going to go for a run. Luckily, I never have time to do more. So it's kind of, it forces me to stop. But I think that how should you move your body was the question. A-B workout strategy. 2 days a week of hard workouts. 3 days a week max of B workouts. You love your weighted vest? Love that because your heart rate's not probably getting above 140. Right. It's a low impact exercise and you're tapping into fat. So when you use the A workouts to burn through that sugar and make your muscles strong, and those B workouts to lean into fat and lengthen them out, it's like a 1-2 punch. And that's really what I figured out through my injury and then really diving in and understanding more about fast and slow twitch muscles.
Second goal of my lifestyle plan. How do I create a sustainable lifestyle using the method rather than living in a diet culture where we're trying to always, what's the next thing? What's the next thing?
Well, you really were in such a diet culture because of all the modeling. Even sometimes in the beginning of us working together, you're like, no, it's okay. Before the shoot, I just won't eat a lot. And I'm like, no. That's the opposite of what we want to do. You're like, no, I can just fast all day. And I'm like, no, Molly, you need to eat. I'll eat egg whites. I'll eat egg whites.
Starve myself.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay. And I'm like, no, I actually think you're probably eating way more. So we started incorporating, literally at all the games you're going to, lacrosse, you're pulling chicken out of a Ziploc bag. Yeah. You've become me, chicken in a bag. So yeah, I think I think it's no more diet culture comes with eating more food and eating the more of the right things, the healthy fats, the proteins. Don't spike your blood sugar.
How do you balance the blood sugar, optimize the fat burn, and increase energy, all while giving up nothing?
Yeah, so that's the carbs last.
Right.
And for you, especially now that you're doing more strength training, like we went over to your house and made a smoothie, we're adding in a half a banana, blueberries, or a date.
And it's so satiating. I have to say,
you're full for 3 to 4 hours.
I was full.
Yeah.
The girls asked me when I wanted lunch. I'm like, I'm not even that hungry.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is, I also figure that out after doing my heavy strength training. If I don't add the banana, and listen, after a big workout, sometimes you're not hungry because you've got a lot of adrenaline, you got all the feel-good hormones going on. You need to eat. And so I will make myself have the banana because if I don't, it's a 4 p.m. pantry party. I am ripping on chips. I'm so hungry because I didn't allow my body to get that dose of sugar from the banana or the blueberries that it needs to replace those glycogen stores I lost in the workout. You know?
That makes sense.
And so you almost have to force yourself, like eat a simple carb after a really hard workout. And 4 p.m. looks a lot better.
And mini meals.
Mini meals, your 4
A little
p.m.
bit
mini meal.
of almond butter with,
apple.
Apple. You could do egg. You could do like 2 whole eggs.
Egg bites.
You can do egg bites. I mean, it depends on.
You could make a full-blown smoothie. Right. Your 4 p.m. mini meal is your insurance policy to not overeat at dinner or late night snack.
I know how you feel about this, but what type of intermittent fasting do you recommend?
So I love intermittent fasting. It's a tool that's free. You can do it anywhere. It works, but you need to vary your fasting times. So I don't want you to fast 16 hours every day and push through it because you're so hungry. You need to give yourself different variation. One day 12, one day 16.
That way, I also think you
14.
don't plateau, right? Like
Correct.
You don't kind of just...
Correct. You need to let your body know it's safe because being in a fasting state is a stressful state. Your car is pulled over and your flashers are on. Your body's like, okay, I'm in starvation mode. When am I getting my next calorie? And it'll hold. So if we vary, we let it know it's okay.
How do you recommend you vary? Like what's...
So 12
hours one day, 6 hours,
exactly.
10 hours the next day.
And really, truly, this is such a buzzy, stupid word right now, but like be intuitive with it. Really listen. If you're getting your cycle, if you're over, where are you? How tired are you? Because I will tell you this, I am so much more hungry when I am tired.
Yeah.
Me too.
I mean, I think all of us are because you're trying to get energy.
Well, that speaks to like, how do you help women conquer like late night snack, that urge, that like, you know what, I'm so tired, I'm over it. I want chocolate, I want alcohol, I want something. I want to hit something.
Yep. So I think the answer to that is you got to do your homework during the day to avoid that black hole at night. So if you over caffeinate, and I think as women, we're always trying to put away our hunger. We're always trying to like numb it, like have more caffeine. You know, don't be hungry. Oh, I feel hungry. That's bad. Honor it. And really like one of our steps is feast famine. When you're eating, eat. And then don't eat. Yeah. If you're snacking all day, sure signal that you have not had enough food.
Yeah.
100%.
Right? Like if you're kind of always picky, then
it actually makes me more hungry when I'm like that. I'm like,
and then you're going to be hungry at night.
Now talk to us about sleep at night. How important is that?
Sleep is so important. And it's also a learned behavior. So we know from having kids, I do the same routine with Wynn every night, or it's like malfunctions, right? Like I'm like, we do the bath. That's telling her it's time to get ready for the book.
Yeah.
And then, so for us, we need to tell our bodies it's time to go to sleep. And that means that we enter the parasympathetic nervous system. So this is our rest and digest nervous system where we go from our sympathetic go, what we're all in right now, to wind down and rest. You got to give yourself the signals. So I don't care if it's 30 minutes, 15 minutes, ideally an hour, but who the hell has time for that? I love a hot bath because that bath or even a shower.
She does the bath.
I do a bath every night.
Shower.
It's a game changer. It obviously lowers your body temperature when you come out of it, and that lowering of the body temperature induces a deeper sleep. And so I love a little routine of a bath. It doesn't have to be long either.
No, I mean, I'm 10 minutes at most.
Yeah.
And my kids always barge in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then come out, and I love my new kind of obsession right now is a Shakti mat. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
Okay. So I absolutely love the Shakti mat. I just sent you girls one as a little New Year's gift. And you can put that mat on the floor, and it's a little bit uncomfortable at first because it's like little prongs that you lay on. And then as soon as you kind of get
You lay on it naked or in clothes?
I
Just like with your bra and underwear?
Yeah,
Okay.
bra and underwear, or put your pajamas on and start that way. And then you could
Work your way up.
And you are going to have a moment of like, I got to get off this thing. And then all of a sudden your body sort of settles into it, and they call it the Shakti.
Oh,
like when your
okay.
body sort of settles in. And it is a really good way to it's almost like the most super deep massage of your life. And they have a pillow, they have a headband. I've gotten really into all the products. And Chris is like, what are you doing down there? And I'm like, I'm Shaktiing.
I love it.
Oh, that's
It's the
awesome.
best. So that is a good like signal. Hey, it's time to relax.
Yeah.
It's time to unwind. It's just like someone doing this on your head.
Oh,
Oh
Just
my
kind of
God.
like,
So
a
good.
little bit of that
And
before.
does it move or just?
No, it's a flat mat. It's like a yoga mat, but it's got these prongs. And I do it against my bed. I put my legs up the wall, which is also really
Wall
good
fall?
for your, legs up the wall or legs up your bed. Really good to activate your vagus nerve, calm everything down. And I think if you do your work ahead of bed, you get in and you're done, right? It's getting into bed and like flipping through iPad and TV that gets you in trouble, that blue light.
Talk a little bit about alkalizing and then restoring in the evening, like two things that you have that you guys can purchase. She has a great D2C business, and she's going to have more products throughout this year. But talk about alkalizing and then restoring.
So 2 ways to bookend your day. So we wake up in an acidic state. Our first inclination is to run to a cup of coffee, which is also very acidic. So after you have your water, before your feet hit the floor, have your alkalized powder. It's 6 servings of dehydrated vegetables. Again, we're busy on the go. When do you have time to eat 6 servings of organic vegetables that also are dehydrated, that don't break a fast? So you do a sachet, 3 or 4 ounces of water. The goal is really just get it down.
Shoot it down.
Before you have your coffee. Like I'm getting that down so I can have my coffee. Let me be clear about that. But it gets rid of bloat. It helps prime your body for digestion all day. A lot of people, the repeated DMs I get is, I can't believe how flat my belly is.
It's great for travel as well because it comes in a bag,
go.
but it's all individual packets. And I love what you said the other day. You were like, if you don't have a spoon, just use the actual
you can
packet.
use the packet to stir it instead of your toothbrush in a hotel or whatever. So that's alkalized. And I also pregame with this. So if I know I'm going to go have a couple cocktails, I also have seen when I put a continuous glucose monitor on somebody, if they have this before they go out drinking, we see less of a spike from the alcohol.
Oh, the Restore or the Alkalize?
No, the Alkalize.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Restore, really the inspiration for that was out of my no pain, no gain, building a business, crazy stressed out self, over exercising. And I started taking minerals, and I realized how mineral deficient I was. And
I think that was the original part of your story, that you were so deficient as a young girl.
Yeah. I was just also so burnt out. But by the way, we all are burnt out.
Well, it's fight or flight.
It's fight or flight. We are in a constant state of cortisol surge. And so this is electrolytes. So it's magnesium, which America's 30% deficient in magnesium. And if we don't have minerals, we can't perform normal bodily functions like blinking, like moving our arm. We get brain fogged. We don't feel good. We hold on to weight. We have cravings. So this is called Restore because it also has L-theanine in it. And L-theanine is an amino acid that calms your nervous system. And it makes you feel so good.
It's calming.
It's calming. You can do that right before bed, 30 minutes, or you could do it right after a workout as well, because it is going to give you those electrolytes.
For muscle recovery.
And a lot of times if you do a stressful workout, the L-theanine will calm you down a little bit afterwards. Yeah.
Love that.
I love magnesium at night.
It just makes you feel good. And we don't have enough of it in our food anymore. So and your body cannot make minerals. We have to get it from our diets or drinks.
she has a wonderful new product coming out in a few months, but we can't spill the beans. But we do have to do a little rapid fire.
Okay. Rapid fire.
It's
We love a
Lipstick on the
rapid
Rim.
fire.
What's your favorite way to get active besides the gym?
Ooh, definitely jumping on the trampoline with Winnie.
If you could only wear one color for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Green.
What's your superpower?
Knowing how to help transform somebody just intuitively and understand what I need to do to flip it on its head.
What's your guilty pleasure snack?
Oh, definitely like way too much. It says people are going to laugh. Way too much nut butter. I also love the Trader Joe's round crackers that are basically like a fake Ritz.
Something you've always wanted to try but haven't yet.
I have never tried cryotherapy.
Oh, it's so
and
good.
I really want to try that. I did this summer, I did a cold plunge. And I can't believe how good I felt. So I can only imagine what cryotherapy
Scarlett
feels
and
like.
Scarlett and I can crush. I mean, we can be in there for 15 minutes.
Wow. And is your head above?
Just my head.
Yeah. So I would like to try cryotherapy.
She can go under. I mean, she's a loon.
Wow.
Favorite vacation spot?
Oh, I love Turks and Caicos. Easy to get to.
What's one thing that's always in your bag?
Chicken.
By the way, it is true.
What's one thing you can't live without?
My family.
Yeah.
I love my family.
She's very organized, very structured. I will tell you to start with SWW. That's the one point, the executive functioning, you take it to another level. She's like, we're not going to do this Zoom right now.
Yeah, I'm a little aggressive.
It's good though, because it keeps you,
I won't let you fail.
It won't let me fail. This is great.
Thank
I mean,
you.
honestly, make sure and follow Sarah Wragge Wellness, SarahWragge Wellness on Instagram and TikTok. And make sure and check out her website. It's a wealth of information. There's a lot of different plans you can do. She has an incredible team. It's sarahwragge.com. You're the best. I'm so glad through Marlene.
I'm so proud of you, Molly.
I'm so glad, Marlene Rentmeister is the OG person who connected us. And then I got to meet Sarah, and she spoke at a dinner party at actually Marlene's house. People want to feel good. People want to, I think what I love about the plan the most, it's not restrictive.
Yeah, it can't be.
And
who wants to do that?
I know.
And I'm not like that,
Yeah.
I think people are always like, oh, Sarah, you're so disciplined. No, I just feel really freaking good.
Yeah.
And I don't want to not feel good.
Yeah.
I know.
But I will set myself up to have a tequila. I'm just not going to have that on empty, because I know what's going to happen if I do.
I love the alkalize before. I might do that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pregame.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a pregame, put your red lipstick on and alkalize, and then restore when you get home.
So when you think about, your own lifestyle plan when you're working with a client, do you do more of a 3-month, a 6-month? Do you start with a year? Like, how do you back into it?
So I think 3 months gets me a really good amount of time to deep dive, teach you. I always like to say, once you know, you can't unknow. So when you know what the bagel will do, make a purposeful choice.
Amazing.
Yes, thank you.
So fun. And we'll let you guys know our progress.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Lipstick on the Rim with Molly Sims and my ride or die, Emese Gormley. We are so excited to bring you guys along on this journey with us. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Lipstick on the Rim and at Molly B. Sims. Or you can go to my blog where you can dive just a little bit deeper into my favorite products, trends, and more at mollysims.substack.com. And don't forget to check out our video episodes on my YouTube channel, Molly Sims. This podcast is a production with Sony Music. I wanted to give a special thanks to my team, Rosie Cummings, Kenna Ryan, Safine Kevorkian, and everyone at Sony Music. Don't forget to listen and follow wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss out on the fun.